talking with Tony, I decided we would talk about some really fundamental basic stuff. Probably stuff we've all been through before, but sometimes we don't take the time to think about it when we're getting ready to coach our kids and work with our athletes. And I think that's the important thing, is it's necessary. You can know something, but if you don't take the time to impart that knowledge to the athlete, it doesn't really do a lot of good. And basic skills are the building block of technique. If you're really going to execute technique properly, you have to have the fundamental skills to go with that particular technique. We always talk in wrestling about the 7 basic skills. How many here can name the 7 basic skills? Can you do it?
Position, motion, levels, penetration, backstep, back arch.
Good. There's a few more that we like to kind of throw in there. I consider sprawling a basic skill. Grip is a basic skill. I think things like hip heisting are basic skills. I think a control. Zeke talked about control points. I think that's a basic type skill, fundamental concept that we need to get across to people as well. Flexibility, strength, those are things we can work on also, and they're skills that are essential to wrestling. And so those are things we should be thinking about when we design our programs and working our programs with kids. So I'm going to start out a little bit with, the first basic skill, which is position or stance. 2 primary stances. First one would be square, and the second one would be a staggered stance. We all know that technique. Sometimes we don't start to think about those stances and what they can mean to us. If he's in a square stance, and I'm getting ready to wrestle him, my goal is to create an angle, get him out of position where I can begin to execute my technique. If he's in a square stance, I know that he has no post in front of him right here, and he doesn't have one behind him. So if he's in a square stance, I need to be training my athletes to recognize that square stance. They need to be moving in and back. They need to move in and back with them. They need to take advantage of where there's no post. Create that angle is the other thing we have to do. So we're going to work off a half-man theory. If I take and divide his body in half, I'm a right leg lead. I need to be on this half of his body for my double, my high crotch. I need to be on this half of his body for my single leg. So by knowing that I need to create a half-man situation, and I want a situation where he's always square in front of me, but I'm not square in front of him. If we both get in a stance like this right here, right now, he's square in front of me, but I'm also square in front of him. If I add the concept of a control point to it, maybe I take an elbow and move. Now, he's square in front of me, but I'm no longer square in front of him. And sometimes I don't think we take the time to tell the kids or teach the kids that the control point's what makes this work. And a control point is any part of his body I've got to hold up that I'm moving. It might be his shoulder, it might be his elbow, it might be a wrist, it might be his head. So I use a control point to help me create these angles. So he gets in the square stance. He's going to be able to move very, very well laterally. He can circle right, he can circle left. What he can't do real well is move forward and backward. So again, my motion with him, as I move into him here, he's in the square stance, my motion is to move forward. He's already changed stance. The minute I touch him, he went into stance. So the minute I do this, now I'm going to change direction again. I learn to keep track of where his position is at, where he doesn't have a post. If he's in that staggered stance, he's got great balance front and back. But he doesn't move laterally as well. If he's in a square stance, he's got great balance side to side, and he doesn't have much front or back in comparison. These are things I can use, things that I need to know, not only when I'm in those stances, but when I'm wrestling into the stances. So, he's in a staggered stance, right leg lead, I draw a triangle mentally between his feet, and a point midway, right there. That's where he doesn't have a post, right there. Same thing going behind him in the other direction. So I can use these things from the stance. Now the thing that we have with the stance, if he's in a square stance, I also know that he's primarily defensive. If he's in a staggered stance, I know that he's in an offensive mode. If I'm in a square stance, elbows in, head up, back straight, good weight, balanced here. If I'm in this thing, I'm in good position to defend. In order for me to attack him, if he's in a square stance, I have to get him moving into me or pushing on me. If he's not moving into me or pushing on me, my chances of success are not real good. I against that square stance. So I need to change something. The other thing I know is that I need to be careful about the fact that if I move the wrong direction, go ahead and get the square stance. If I move this direction here, he can move. But if I take, and now he's got to adjust his feet. Creating that angle again. Make him adjust on the line. Get a stagger stance. If he's in a stagger stance, I'm in a square stance, I need to be thinking about which way do I rotate, which way do I move. He doesn't have a post here. I move where he doesn't have a post, and he has to adjust. If I move the other way, I move right into a shot. He doesn't have to change it, he's still right in the stagger. If I come right in, he's right where he can shoot. Now from that stagger stance, most guys will take, and they'll sometimes pound step and go, some will just step and go. But a lot of them don't think about it. One of the purposes of pound step is that if I'm like this, right here, my power isn't this way. My power off this foot is when it's like this. So if I want to go here, this foot needs to be just turned a little bit. That takes me in the direction I want to go. If I'm here, I'm going over there someplace. So I need to be able to adjust. Maybe I'm in a square stance, change my levels, my feet are set and I'm ready to go with that little bit of a pound step to change levels. So we need to know where our power is at too. So this way is not where it's at. Now it is. Now I'm coming off this and I can come hard. Does that make sense to you? Really, you guys think that? I mean,
I like it.
questions? Questions? Everybody's part here? Don't be afraid to holler with questions. You know, the only bad question is when you don't ask. So anything you got, be sure to ask. So we got two stances we're dealing with, position-wise. Square stance, stagger stance. Square primarily offensive. Defensive, staggered primarily offensive. And we're going to work out of those both ways, defense and offense. All right? Get it a square stance. When I come into him, when I move into him here, if I'm going to lay hands on him, I won't reach, especially if I'm exposed to my knee leg. This hand has always got to be protected by my knee leg. It's important that I not let him under me by just simply giving it to him this way. It doesn't work well. If he's in a square stance or a stagger stance, when I move into him, I'm going to move into a good position, elbows in here, and come in where I can lay hands on him with bent arms. If he posts his arms on my shoulder straight, I can post and go. It's easy to do. If he bends his arms, I can't really do that. That doesn't work. This is one, not chopped. Okay? So things like that, we need to work within a stance as well. Teach the kids the fact that when there's straight arms here, they can be posted. If they're bent arms, they can't. So when I move into a stance, elbows are in, heads up, and I catch with bent arms, not with straight arms. I never move one foot without moving the other. Short, choppy steps. We don't cross our feet. These are things we always learn. Another one that I've always liked to relate to people is the fact that you tie up speed and you move a horse. I know that came from where I grew up. I hear Steiner use it too. I think it must be a North Dakota thing where we grew up. But you tie up speed and move a horse. That means if he's really quick, I need to get my hands on him. I need to get control. If he's really strong, I've got to move him and create those angles. The angles become more important the more of a horse he is. Speed, hands on. 2 on 1, collar ties, inside control. And inside control, just like backside is best for a finish, inside is best, both defensively and offensively. If I can be inside, I'm in better shape than if I'm outside. Those are just little teeny things. Half man again. I'm a right leg leader. That means on this half of his body, I can shoot my high crotch, my double. This side, I'm going to come to my single. Okay? If kids understand that concept, they know they can understand what if they want a single leg and they're on this side of the body, it's not there. They know they can move themselves and move their opponent. If I want that single, I'm here, I gotta move him to get to that side of the body. I have to create that angle and create that opportunity. If I want under him, I move him down. As he comes up, I'm under. That type of thing. Learn to change levels with it. That's one of our skills, is changing levels. But we have to be able to do that. We hit low, come up high. Finish with your feet if you can is always best. So we're changing levels to get to it. We're changing levels to come back to finish. We're changing levels is primary to everything we're doing. Anything on that, Bill?
He likes it.
All right. Penetration and motion. Position, which is stance. If we look at penetration, I think in terms of working with kids, I think in terms of teaching 4 basic penetration steps. 3 are primary, 1 is kind of secondary, but it's really important. And I'll explain that to you after we go through the first 3. First one, I'm going to call it inside step. And what I do is I teach it as a deep step penetration because I really want to get across the fact that they're closing the gap. I'm using an inside step when I have to close the distance and he's either stationary or moving away from me. If he's coming toward me or pressuring me, I'm going outside step. So when I come, if he's pressuring into me here, pressuring me here, it's going to be outside. If he's moving away from me, it's going to be inside. We're outside in this thing we go. So I'm going to come between his legs where I'm coming with my double here, and it's going to be right through it. Cover that gap, change that distance. The position I'm trying to get to is here. Elbows in, head up, good power angle in my back, my legs here. And the nice thing about this position is the fact that it's the same for my single, my double, and my high crotch. Here's my double. Here's my high crotch. Here's my single. I don't have to learn 3 positions. I can use 1 position for all of them. And a good way to drill this would be, Bill, put out the double. Get in a double. What you can do with the kids, get in a double leg position, call out the change position. All this guy top's going to do is be in good position, keep his balance, and let him do the work. All right, so we do double leg, high crotch, double, single, double, high crotch, double, take down. They get used to motion, they get used to changing off, and it's all exactly the same position. None of it really changes. Okay? So it's important with that penetration that we understand what we're trying to do when we get to that position. An outside step or inside step, the position is the same. When I take an inside step shot, I'm going to drive off my back foot, I'm going to cross, my hands are going to shoot behind his knees here. This point in time, I need to come back up. My back leg's going to fly. As it does, I'm going to make an L. I'm going to turn. I'm going to do a hurdler step rather than drag my toe. It's going to be like this. Pretty much that way. Create an L. So if I inside step to this double leg takedown here, as I come back up, my toes pointing the way I'm going, blocking at the knee. And that's really a lift. So lifting is important even on a double leg, because that flare finish, some of you may know that as Barzagar. I don't like to give the Iranians credit for anything, so we'll call it a flare. But that flare finish is really a lift. So lift comes into it. Whether it be on a double where I pick them up, might be on a high crotch, might be on a high crotch, where as I come up, then move deep here. I step in, flop my hips up, bring them up. Lifting is one of those important skills that comes off of penetration, motion. They all tie together. All right. Outside step.
Something real quick.
Yeah.
I think this Cloud taught me a lot of stuff. So, we see eye to eye here. Something that I see, even with our senior guys, that is a big problem in these positions, is changing off. Some guys are too quick about it, and the doc was saying about penetrate and re-penetrate, like this little drill that I did. I think it's really important when we understand that finishing is about getting my hips into the guy and beating him up, whatever my objective is. If I'm shooting high crotches, I'm trying to come up here and beat this corner. If I'm shooting double legs, I don't really want to stay on my knees so much that I want to hit and get my hips up through that, so I'm continuing to move. But keeping my hips into his hips is what wins the position, and I do that by moving my feet. So the problem is we see too many guys, and I think I understand it because I was probably the same way, is I'm trying to finish too quick. I shoot high crotches, I try to change off to a double. And I'm on both knees, and I'm fighting his big strong legs with my skinny arms. So unless I'm shooting straight double legs, where I'm doing the same penetration, hit, blasting up through the guy, my philosophy is a little bit more like if I was shooting a high crotch, I'm going to shoot here, and as he sprawls, I get here, and most guys do this. Okay? What I should be doing here is right here. See how my hips are right touching his knee. And it's outside arm, outside leg, just the opposite of running. Where you swing your arms opposite of your legs to balance. Once I hit, outside arm, outside leg, what this outside arm being deep does is it gives me this angle, which is what I want. As you already talked about, square to him.
Yeah.
So, when Doc says you want your opponent in front of you, I'm square to him, he's not square to me. Like this kind of stuff. Outside arm, outside leg creates that. Inside arm, if this is my power arm, holds me in this angle, which is his advantage, or at least better for me. So, high crotch type stuff I want to get from here, as this leg sprawls. I'm not going to change off on re-penetrate. I'm getting here as quick as I can. Run my hips through it.
Elbow deep in the back door really helps you do that. If you think in terms of running elbow deep, you should turn that corner. Big go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I noticed that we are holding on to that high crotch a little longer.
Yeah.
You're not transitioning till you're coming up to your feet,
No,
right?
that's the next thing that I was going right into. That piggybacks off of what he was saying about lifting. Lifting is about running my feet and continuing to run my hips through the guy. If I step straight up, when I come up to my feet and change off, on a high crotch for me, I don't change off. I drive up here. Now I can change off real easy. I don't even have to reach that knees right in front of me. If I have to reach here, it's too far away. I'm gonna run through it.
It's really important that his feet stay on the outside like that, because if you go on the inside, the guy will just run around circles.
So the lift comes, going on to that, the lift comes not from me standing up and going, wah! It comes from me running my hips through the guy, and when my hips are under his, he floats up in the air. It's real easy. And if we can impress upon our guys that point, once you start to feel, it's hard to understand, and still until you do it and feel it, you'll find here, changing off, he's strong here. Come on. Now the weight's off this leg. Now I can change off. It's still, for me, I would get here. Now when I chop, boom, he's going to fly. It's going to be real pretty. Now I'm going to double jump. I'm going to turn 1-point takedown, 2-point takedown, to back points, 3-pointers in freestyle. So, kind of a long explanation, piggybacking on Doc, but running our hips through the guy. So if I shoot double leg here, even from an open position, if I'm this kind of wrestler, I blast. Run up through the guy. If he's sprawling, I got to do the drill that Doc was talking about. Run my hips up through the guy. If it's high crotch, You know, I'm kind of covered. You're sprawling on me. Single leg, same thing. Single leg confuses some kids. And for me, it's easy because I shoot high crotches predominantly here. Actually, I shoot high crotches on both sides, but I shoot single legs pretty much only here. I'm right-handed. A single leg on this side is the same footwork. We all know that, right? So that makes a little more sense. He starts trying to stuff my head, and then here, I'm just going to do the same thing on the high crotch. Right. I'm building up. Getting my hips under the guy. Jamming my inside knee under the guy's hips, whether it's here, swallow, here, inside knee's going here, here.
It needs to be as smooth and a flow and continuous motion as possible too, because defense starts when his motion stops. That's when the defense, when his motion stops, that's when defense sets in hard. So if he can continue through in one motion, and the best finish is always through the guy. If you can continue through the motion like Bill's doing there, you got a better chance of finishing.
So the one finish I did with this right here is just building up and more of a dump this way, but you know, also there's stuff like this. He starts stuffing my head sprawl, and I'm posting to kind of fortify my position here. Right. That's, I don't know if you guys remember like Arsen Fedzayev, the Russian 80s. You know, probably one of the best, if not the best ever. Right here, not snaking the knee. He grabbed the butt right here. Right with hamstring and butt come together, because he could trap the guy's hip, keep it close to him. As he's stuffing my head and swallowing, building my hips up through the guy. That's how I'm going to lift. Not shaking.
All right, so that inside step, getting in that position, trading back. The position is the same on all three, as you can see, and the finish is basically the same, and then we're trying to get up through the guy. That's the concept we want to get across to him, is continuous motion through the guy. Outside step. When he's pressuring on me, he's pushing on me, that's when I'm going to outside step. Might be this way. It could be single here, brings a leg to me type thing. But on the outside, it might be something like a duck. And here he pushes, snapping by here, or if the elbow's up higher than that, it's here. But it's an outside step. I don't even always have to hit a knee. So outside step is important when that pressure's on me, he's moving into me, he's pushing on me. Okay? If I try to inside step when he's pushing on me, it's hard for me to even get under him. Okay? I have to take advantage of that pushing he's giving me. I got a little rule. If it pushes, pull it. If it pulls, push it. Okay? And that kind of helps keep the mind straight where you're at. Next penetration step basically is again it's an outside step, but I'm going to drop to the knee and spin. So it's this way here. I outside step, I drop to the knee, and I spin to the back door. You all see that on single legs all the time. Backside, best side. That's a good way to get there. So that knee spin is another third penetration step that's really, really critical, really, really important. The fourth one, how many of you guys know who John Smith is, right? We all know John Smith. If I were to ask you in international competition, 6 years, 6 gold medals, what was his most scored setup, takedown? Most scored?
High crotch.
High crotch. Exactly. Wasn't a low set, it was a high crotch. What did he use to set up that high crotch? What penetration step?
Double knee drill. Drop to his knees. Double knee drill.
Double knee drop, the fourth one. Okay? If I've got elbow control here, I've got elbow control. If he's pushing on me, all I got to do is drop and he comes right over the top of me. I can double knee to a double. I can double knee to a high crotch. I can come opposite side if my head's in the right position, which is what John did all the time. So that double knee drop really is penetration. And it comes into play where I've got elbow control one side or both sides. My head's in good position and he's pushing on me. I just simply double knee drop and he falls right over the top of me. So that's what I call the fourth one. All right, so we talked a little bit about stance, talked a little bit about motion, we talked a little bit about lifting, penetration. The other two we didn't talk about right now were backstep and back arch. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Basically, a backstep is where I just simply behind and pivot, change the levels. Why are they important? Well, they're really important because in wrestling, we like to give our athlete a chance to win no matter what's happening. And if he has the skills of backstepping and back arching, he always has the opportunity to maybe throw. Arm spin, you know, supplé. He's always got that opportunity if he has those kinds of skills. So I think it's important that we don't neglect those two. They do need to learn how to backstep and change levels. They need to learn how to back arch so that they can throw if the opportunity comes up, and sometimes that's how you're going to win a match when you're not in position to do so. A lot of times you come from behind to do that. Anything you want to add on that? Okay.
I mean, I think for a lot of reasons, those skills are as important or more important skill development than the technique. Because, you know, like a basic backstep that Doc was talking about, it's the footwork for pretty much every throw I know. Arm throw, hip toss, headlock, it's all the same thing.
All the same thing.
It's all the same footwork. And it teaches body awareness. It makes a guy confident in his ability to wrestle in different positions, whether, you know, you get a guy, I know Cody's a grappling guy, so I'm not going to wrestle him, I'm not going to go up and body. No, I'm going to. I'm a high crotch guy, but he doesn't know I can throw. And I think it makes us a better, well-rounded athlete, as well as just the skills that explosive hips, being able to pivot and know where your body's at, develops like Matt said in wrestling. And I think is something that needs to be promoted a lot more at the grassroots level, because I see huge gaps in our senior guys right now. We have 26-year-old, 26-year-old athletes who come to us on the national team and they don't know some of this stuff. And it blows my mind because I was fortunate to come through a good program where I have coaches I learned this when I was 8. You know how to do that? No, I don't know. Well, you better learn how, because some of you wrestle might. You need to understand that position.
So we don't want to neglect those either. Now, other skills that I think are basic skills too are, for example, like grip. If I take a single leg, the grip I'm likely to use is right here. Clasp. It's like that's probably the strongest grip. Right there. When I take it on this side, I'm going to clasp outside or inside. If I'm on this side, it's going to be the other way. Because if he goes to peel hands, he's going to peel me up into the leg rather than away from me, which is to my advantage. So this is one of the strongest grips. That's the first grip. Next one would be what I'll call a knuckle grip. That comes into play primarily like in Greco with lifts and things like that. Butterfly grip. It's like this. Okay, that's the third one. Now a lot of people think, well, that's freestyle. No, it's not. Keep down with it. If I'm on top of him here and I want to turn him and I'm working on one of the most effective power halves I can use is that butterfly lock right there. Look at the elbow, the pressure in his head. So that butterfly lock even comes into play when I'm working for turns, power halves, and things like that. The next one is what I'm going to call, last one we'll call what I call a forearm hook. Right here. Okay? A lot of times you'll end up going to that forearm hook off of something else. It might be here. He starts fighting me up. I'll take a big bite right on the forearm hook. using my head. So, forearm hook, butterfly, knuckle, and clasp. And how many coaches really take the time to sit down and talk to the kids about the different locks, how you use them, and where they come into play? It's important. Another skill that I think we neglect is what I'm going to call a hip heist. Okay? If I get in a crab walk, right here, if I'm in a crab walk situation, right here, if I kick one leg under the other, right here, I'm heisting. That's a hip heist. If I'm in a situation where I just flop one leg over the top, yeah, straighten this one, flop that over the top, that's a hip heist. There's two ways that they can use this. It's going to be important. Number one is if I'm trying to get away from the guy, if I need to create distance between he and myself, as I get out to here, that leg may extend. Get it way out there, flop, come back and create distance. But sometimes it might be a situation where might be a situation where I'm dumping it back like this. Okay? Here, I don't want distance. When I hip heist here, I want to get right up to the head. Always to the head. Okay, in that situation. So, two ways I can use a hip heist. Now, I don't know if coaches have done this, but I'm sure you know the drill. You have to do a Garrett drill, right?
Yeah.
Start right over here. I want you to Garrett crawl to the center. Do a 360. Sit out to the hip, crab walk. Crab walk to the end, hip heist. Garrett crawl to the center. 360. Sit out to the crab walk. Hip heist. Simple little drills that can develop that skill. Okay? Right on here again. Kids, pick this stuff up pretty fast. Get down in the all floors. Alright? Sit out to a crab walk. Hip heist. Sit out to a crab walk. Hip heist. Sit out to a crab walk. Hip heist. We'll walk in pieces. Now as fast as you can. Keep going. Okay, now what you do is just simply learn our position here. They come out here, they sit out here, they hip heist here, they come back. They do the same thing in other directions if they want to. Change it back and forth. Those little drills will take and help that skill of a hip heist. And I think a hip heist is really a skill. Okay? Next one. I could spend a whole afternoon or more on this, but I just want to go under. I'm going to call control point a skill because I think it is a skill. I think you have to learn how to utilize it. If he comes up and pulls my shoulder here, if I take his wrist off, I have a control point. When I take it off, I'm never soft hand, heavy hand. When I take it off, just go to the mat. I'm going to be in position here, but it's going to the mat. So that he's carrying my weight. When I take an elbow off, I'm staying with it. I don't just let go of it. See, I'm trying to square up, I still stay with it. It's a control point. I've got the control point, he squares up, I still have it. I can come off with inside ties. I got a thumb block high on this side, at the bicep, low bicep here. Both of these control points and inside. I'm using this to set him up for a technique. If he tries to clear on this side over here, and just catch it. I got it. I can't get it away. It's tight. There's my single. Okay? Control point over here. There's my pass. Control points, whether it be a collar tie. We got a collar tie. I push, he pushes back, I move with it. Create the angles. Close my shoulder. Across the body. of ways. We spent a whole afternoon on the control point, teaching kids the concept of using a control point to create that angle. Is something I think you need to get across to the kids. All right. I'm going to talk a minute about sprawling. I think it's an important skill. And then I'm going to have Bill take this into something we both think is really important. If I'm going to sprawl, that involves down block. Head, hands, arms, hips. When I sprawl, my hips are going to go to the mat. My head's going to come down. If he's coming to a single leg on this side, it's here. Here. High crotch. Here. High crotch. Here. Double leg. Here. Real quick, head blocking first. He's got to get through my head. That's important. Okay? The other thing is, let's go sprawl for this. Okay, we've got a bent leg and a straight leg. When he comes up, he's always going to come up to the bent leg. Bill's funny here. Single leg to sprawl. Go ahead.
Some extras on off.
Yeah, and he sprawls. Okay? He's sprawling this leg back. This leg is bent. If he circles to the leg that's not bent, he circles right into a heavy wheel. No, not you, let him circle. Not heavy wheel. It's double. Okay? So he get in there. So the concept is real simple. If he doesn't circle to the bent leg, he helps him secure the takedown. Brings his head right, pops it outside, he's right there. He circles the other one to the bent leg. Now I can cover the head, begin to try to get behind and finish. So when you're teaching kids to sprawl, it's important to understand the concept of circling up to the bent leg. Now, these two guys are going to be my kids here, and I'm going to give them a little down block you might find useful with the kids. Get up and get in a stance. Looking at me. They're asking me. I'm an old man and I don't have time to sit here and shoot on them all day long. My heart probably wouldn't take it because I'm getting old and fat. But so I developed this because it's kind of a lazy man's way of doing it. And it's real simple. This is a single leg to that leg. This is a single leg to that leg. This is a high crotch to that leg. This is a high crotch to that leg, and this is a double. Now, you need to be in motion, facing me at all times. Huh?
That's too complicated.
Get shot.
You understand as you move. Ready? You get the idea. Simple little drills. You can work with the team to help them with their sprawl and their down block. Practice makes So what at this we're talking about on this one?
To me, something that coming off the World Championships, a big area of concentration is, I mean, we got to be able to score points. There's a lot of things. But to me, something that stuck out, two things, is mat savvy number one, which I'll get into. It's kind of long-winded explanation. But defense. And the reason I say defense is because, like Zeke talked about the edge and mat type stuff, and the differences in folk style and freestyle. My philosophy about wrestling is wrestling. There's no grapple, there's no freestyle, there's no folk style, there's wrestling. Okay? You develop skills, you develop tactics, strategy, techniques, and the guys who win, they win. John Smith, if you put him in a Greco match, I guarantee you will find a way to win, because he's a winner. So it's not about the rules as much as it is about how we attack those. So defense, with regard to freestyle and folk style, it gives me confidence. It gives me confidence. We all know how to shoot high crotches for the most part. Probably can learn better our finishes on a lot of stuff. But something that I see is lacking is we get guys doing this. I'm going to mention names because I don't want to call these guys out. Trent Paulson, Travis Paulson, Jared Frayer, Astrid, they do this kind of stuff. Guy gets in deep on me, and this is what I should be doing. What Doc was just covering. Right here.
What's that movement?
Andy drove that, yeah. So, but our first move is to go here. You know? And those guys are successful in the United States and they get away with it a little bit. And they've gotten away with it in folk style because there's no consequence in folk style. If I roll across my own back, which, you know, I would like to change that culture of thinking a little bit that way. My philosophy is I would never expose my back ever for any reason. Absolutely never. I mean, gravity roll, maybe. Explosive, boom! But I'm not gonna, you know. So, this kind of drill that Doc's doing, where a guy shoots, here's where I should be. Run a go behind stick. This is the easy point. It's hustle, I gotta work hard for it, but in a tough match, man, that's demoralizing to this guy. And when I was young in college, the Brands brothers made a huge impression on me because they would be in a nail biter with some of the better guys in the country. I remember Tom in one specific match against a Penn State kid. What that kid's name? Really? No, I was staring. Blonde haired guy, real stocky, tough wrestler. And him and Tom did second point. Home duel in Iowa City. Okay, so it's a big match. And it's like 6'5", 4'5", something like that. And I don't even remember who was ahead. But the end of the third, going into the third period, that's what the score is. 1 point. Remind you when that tied. End of the match, Tom wins by major decision. Okay? Right from this position, right here. Guy's attacking. Hustle. Because I know how to drop my hips, get my feet back in the way first. First. So I sprawl here. Get my feet back in the way, my hips are still. And then start working on this. And then our other stuff, not that chest lock isn't valuable, but it comes later. It's not our primary. So, you know, if he gets to my leg and he's just a stud and he's coming up, do everything I can. He's done. Where's my chest lock? Not right. So, this sprawl, hips, him with a hip. And my idea is that my hips are going down and away, my feet are going back, my hips are going down, my feet are going away. But my hips are actually going in. I want to hit him like a brick wall. So if Cody's shooting high crotch or doubling, I'm squatting here to meet him. I'm squatting here. Like Doc said, first line defense is my head, not my hands. It's my head, because it starts with my head position right here in my stance. Unless he's like, if he's so low, you know, that's kind of the point of the diminishing return. I'm not going to try to beat him there. I'm just going to snap him down. But if we're in a normal stance, it's right here. Even with my hip, or even taking an angle. Then my hands, if he beats my hip position. Or as he shoots, when we do his down lock type stuff. Where he shoots at me here. My hips are going, I'm squatting. Hips are going down, feet going away. And as I hit him with my hips, I should hit him like a ton of bricks. Meet charge with a charge. So when he hits me, right there, right here. Now I'm still vulnerable, but I gotta keep wrestling. That's my hips stay down heavy, my feet going. Hit me with that sprawl. Right there. Very fundamental, very basic, but I think we need to be confident in what our guy says, because it's so important. The higher level of wrestling, you guys all know this, the higher it gets, the moves don't get more sophisticated, more complex. They get more fundamental, more solid. Occasionally, you can see some guys, some different stuff. Head to the inside, same thing. This leg straight, like Doc was saying. If this leg's bent, I'm circling it.
Look at the laces. The laces are on the mat until he's ready to. When his drive forward is stopped, then he'll dig his toe in. But while he's driving forward, if he drives his laces in the mat, he just slide.
Might not be aware of the edge. Gotta be aware of the edge. I don't know if you can listen to that. I was talking to Daddy in here. If I post here, he runs up underneath me. I can push as hard as I want. And I'm just giving him something to fight against. I need to slide off that. So here, that's why. So hips down and away. Meeting with my head position. Control my wrist maybe. Like Doc said. When I solidify my defense, I can own the center of the mat. I'm not afraid of this guy. Bring it on, man. I know my hips are too heavy for me. If he beats my head by chance, then it's shoulders, chest. Or excuse me, hands, then shoulders, chest. Hands, forearms. So if he beats my head, then I get my hands on him. If he pops my hands, forearms. Then shoulder, boom, chest, then hips. Hips is once he beat me with everything. No, I'm stuck. Getting off the way. Now, he's not going to run around like that either. He's going to be tripod, squaring. I got to wrestle here. I got to work real hard now. But if I'm willing to hustle and put in the work, I can score some big points. In folk style, this is one area that is so overlooked. We call it short offense, because it's kind of short in front of the eye. I shoot Gable's philosophy. He said this makes so much sense to me. I shoot, I score. He shoots, I score. Okay? It's a very stingy mentality. When I step outside the circle, I can shake his hand to be finished. I'll buy a hamburger inside the circle. He's trying to take my life away and it ain't gonna happen. Okay, so I get, sprawl here, square my hips, head on his head. Move. But when I move, I don't do this. That's how I get beat. When I get ducked, I get re-penetrated. My hips. I want to maintain that really nice, consistent arc from my head all the way to my toes. Okay. Slide my chest off. Here, tell our guys, even if I stop neutralizing this penetration here, I'm too high. Okay? I can't start reaching. I'm doing this. See this a lot. Guys right back in on me. Or head to the outside. And now I got him stopped right here. Well, I think I got him stopped right. I'm going to do this, right? Oh. He's going to pick me. And let's see if his butt comes way up out of position. Know that I have something. But if he's the best guy in the state, and I'm trying to beat him here, my hips are heavy, I stop this motion, I get here. Continue. All the way off, heavy on his head, armpits, front headlock. I don't like locking my hands in front headlock. A lot of kids do because it's secure, but it also slows me down. He grabs hold of my elbows because I feed it to you. I almost stay close to my ribs, on his chin, pulling, armpit. This guy's up.
Keeping that head down is important. Billy covered it with his chest. A lot of times he didn't see where if he's in on the single, one of the first things I'm covering is that head. As I come back, I'm covering that head, getting your hips away.
Right there. Go back to the back. Right there. This is really important. He stopped him. He's really good position, but he's got to square his hips there. Square the hips over the head. I don't want to stay, you know, when I hit him here like this, I don't want to stay like this. That's where his head pops out the other side. There you go. Ideally, if I'm doing down blocks, when I'm doing down blocks, when I teach my guys this, I'm not teaching them, I don't sprawl this way. You know, I don't sprawl, like, you know, like this. If I'm doing like a knockout drill, I sprawl as square as possible. Now maybe a little bit, I boom, pop them, but immediately I square my hips. So I move. This is the position I want to be. And the reason is because once you get off the position, like Doug said, I'm covering his head. I'm keeping his head underneath me. Here, this gives him a place to come out. I got to square. Boom, keep him underneath. Slide off. Now it's under my chest. Now I got front headlock, chest grab, I got whatever I want. Short offense. There's so much to do there. So much to do. But I think the platform, the fundamental base is that I'm solid in my defense. When Cody's coming at me on the headbutt, and a takedown, or an escape, it's, you know, 3-2. Mid left, he's coming at me. I'm not doing this. I see our guys doing that in freestyle. I'm sweating bullets in the corner, or the stands or wherever I'm at. I feel really bad. I think we're really vulnerable there. Because I'm trying to burn the clock. And my mentality is I should attack. Now my risk level might change, but if my defense is solid and I'm confident, I'm going to hold my ground right here. And Cody can come at me. Right here. When he shoots, I'm solid. I attack the ties, I attack, you know, whatever got me ahead 3-2. I attack the wrist, I take an angle here. But this is no sacred place. I don't let him off the hook. If he tries to run away, I don't watch him go. And then clear. I stay right after him. I force his bad attack, his bad offense. And then when he goes, boom. Right here, I'm ready. With my solid defense. Now, drag. Shock. Front headlocks. You know, folks, how you don't do rolls so much. You know, guys do, some guys do. You know, they're going to show this type thing, or Smith mixer, whatever you call it. You know. So many scoring opportunities right here. Anytime the guy's beneath me, that should be my point. It should be my takeout every time. Punish him for even thinking about having the audacity to take a shot at it. But it all starts here. He's trying to shove me out of bounds. Questions? Yeah, you guys have any questions there? I know it's basic stuff and it's maybe probably repetitive and boring.
If he shoots a single leg, he's getting single. When he gets in on that single here, right away, I'm getting on that head. And I've got my arm here where I can whizzer, I can lock his hip. Right away, I'm getting on that hip. I'm going to spread that triangle to get him down. When I say spread that triangle, I'm talking about his 2 feet. Come on up. If he's up here, he's got me here, he's got 2 feet, I've got 1, that's a triangle. Head comes down, I spread it to get him down. Hips come back, square up. His head never comes up. As long as his head is staying toward the mat, I'm in good shape. I cover it this way until I can rotate my hips, cover my hips, my chest, get my hips away to where I've got the arch back, like I was talking about, and get him behind it. If I'm in here, a lot of times what will happen, you see, it's starting to step up with that foot. See, starting to step up. If they step up on me, I take this hand. Good. I just take this hand right there, just like that, and I pop it. Brings your knee right down. Almost plants it. Then comes up. turn them. Okay? Everything's going down. My hips are into the mat. I'm staying still. One other thing there, probably. If I'm in a situation here where I'm struggling, he's got good head position, I can't really get it down, I'm simply going to just rotate my body to get it a little bit this way, then I'm going to let go and pop right underneath it. Inside trip or something. So if I can't get it down, I'm going under. Because he's wanting to come.
Roll right in small spots. Okay, so we've kind of been working on some stuff. We did some video, and hopefully within the year, it's kind of a big project, but trying to develop a curriculum, a national curriculum, where we're promoting the fundamental skills that are going to, like Zeke I think touched on it a bit, that are going to help you guys win state tournaments. They're going to help your athletes develop into more sound wrestlers. So when they get to the international level, it's stuff that the basic must-have positions for being successful in wrestling, period. Folk South, Free South, Greco, whatever it is. And the idea is a database where you have online, you guys have online access to video. Get on there and click on a video, a technique that maybe somebody shows, or maybe an actual situation in a match. This is what we're talking about, and then build from there into training plans, strength and conditioning programs, nutritional information, practice plans. So we're more of a resource to everybody in the country. But one of the big things that we've been working on, just starting this out, is this defense position, because it's such. If our best guys in the country are lacking this, I imagine a lot of people are. So, being able to stand in the center of the mat and being confident also is, I'm relaxed. I'm very relaxed, which is something. Defensively, you see guys that get real tense, wrestle like this, arm stiff, leg stiff. I don't react very well. Physiologically, we have access to a lot of this stuff. It's pretty much common sense, but you can read the actual science, the chemistry behind it, where my neurons don't fire as quickly when they're tense as when they're relaxed. So being confident in our ability and our skills, and then sometimes it's just, you gotta fake it. If you're not very good defensively, fake it until you get good. Keep working. But for me, Doc kind of covered this, but a good, comfortable stance where my feet are about shoulder width apart. I like a staggered stance over a square stance. Square stance is a little too defensive for me, I think, because anytime I want to attack, I gotta change one foot or the other to go forward. And if I'm already there, I can move side to side really well. I can move backward, I can go forward, and I can attack. And I'm relaxed. I need to be comfortable in this position. My arms in front of me, hands low, lean leg hand Doc talked about, is usually lower, kind of in front of this leg. And this is my kind of attack hand here. This hand's kind of left here to defend. But I can also attack once I close the gap. So, if the whistle blows and I go to close the gap on Cody here, this hand's going to stay low. Because if he shoots on me, I have this hand here, boom. And this hand can make contact, but they're very relaxed. My arms are loose, relaxed, and my hands are kind of alert. As well, my head's up, but it's low. Eyes up, eyes up. So if I want to attack him, I'm going to grab here. I'm going to circle, and get close enough to him where I can grab without having to reach. And then work offensively there. But my position, it's both offense and defense at the same time. I'm very comfortable and relaxed, and when there's an offensive opportunity, boom! I explode to it. If this guy comes at me with anything, then I'm prepared because I'm relaxed, not tense. So, the down block stuff, right here. This is a great drill for guys. I actually do this a lot because I used to get caught on my lead leg. I was so comfortable there, I didn't really move it that much. Guys that always get to my legs. So I kind of got better by, I'm still probably not great at it, but just doing this drill. Right here. Really exaggerate that. Kill that baby back there. Over-exaggerate in practice. Straight line if I can. Throw this arm, get it in front of the guy. I'm blocking. I throw it. I drop my hips by bending my knees here. This is how I change elevation. But I keep my eyes out. I get my head down in front of the guy, but I keep my eyes up so I know what's coming. I know what he's doing. So that's one really good drill, and you can incorporate like what Doc did. I think it's great. I can do it shadow wrestling. I always did it as a warm-up, and then I did it again in practice. This for me was an area of concentration. Something I needed to do. So I did it. Might not be for everybody, but it's a good, real good basic fundamental skill. And then taking that a step further, we're doing our stance in motion here. Down block. Down block, re-penetrate. I'm visualizing my opponent. Relax here. I can attack. And then I can progress into like a full knockout type situation where I'm going into full sprawl. Guy shoots, feet back, hips down and away, heads up, chest up. Another reason I want to keep my head and chest up is I want to stack all the weight I possibly can on top of this guy. Here. I'm real heavy here on him. If I start doing this kind of stuff, way greater chance for him to come through me. Especially when you get here. The guy beats a kid, he gets really deep. I need to have this. This should be my instinct, my position. And it only comes through repetition, repetition, repetition. But if my natural instinct is to go like this, grab hold of him because it's security. It's like my security move. I don't want to grab, bend over. He's going to just come right up through me. If he's on his knees, head to the inside, nice beat in here, and then I do this, he's just going to peek out the back door. Just jam your knees and come up. Right there. Real easy. If you bend over. That's why I got to stay here. This is real heavy. It's going to be real hard for him to do that. Real hard. So I sprawl, I can square my hips. Now I'm going to incorporate that in my drill without my opponent. So, when I'm doing it by myself, I just visualize that shoot here, and then I circle. This is so critical. I don't come up like this, I circle. Back up to my feet, back on offense. Or short offense. Whatever opportunity presents itself. But it's critical. Critical that I'm circling up because I was never vulnerable. Once I stopped him, I'm not vulnerable. As opposed to doing this and we get tired and lazy towards the end of practice, I do too. I go like that. He reshoots. Boom. Right now I'm a keystone. I've done it. I've seen guys do it. So just hammer home those skills. Okay, so when we get here, if you guys have questions, please holler them out, otherwise I'll just ramble. So we got this basic position. Guy gets in on me. Guy gets in, head to the inside. Right here, I'm going to stuff head. Okay? Instead of stop them like I wanted to here, this, I'm going to continue to stuff head. Square my hips over. See, I had a good check lock up here. This is important. Right here. Okay, he's strong. He's built up. I got circle, square. Stay up. This is where a guy's going to want to do this. And he's coming right up under me. So I got to stay here. Okay? But to get there, right here, he hits me, you know, whatever, I slipped on a wet spot and he beat my head position, beat my shoulder, my hands, everything. I was asleep at the wheel. Stuff his head. I'm gonna stuff it down and then replace it. Now I'm curling my heel. This is important right here. I'm curling my heel to my butt, right there, and then I'm hipping into him hard, and getting that back. Chest stays up, square my hips. Okay. Big problem that our guys do, or a common mistake, is I do this kind of stuff. I go to sprawl, my foot goes there, he just drives under me. And there's a post there. No, just drives straight in, just like this. You curl this in, post it just a little bit back. Okay. There's just a post. My power is ineffective if there's no resistance back when I'm driving into a ghost. And that's what we're trying to do here. Curl my heel and my butt up. You know, this is big. Heel my butt, and I sprawl, and I continue to slide back and away square my hips. And same thing from here, all the way up. He hits my leg. It's up in the air now. Now I'm real in trouble. Really in trouble. Now I'm gonna go here, same thing though. Curl my heel and my butt, get heavy on his grip. You know, one thing that I like Doc showed, first thing I might try is just popping him in the face and putting my shoulder under his chin and stepping it straight down. Boom, right there. And then hips are low, you know, right there. Caught him with the whizzer. Step that baby down, pulling up on the grip, down with the knee, right in the center. That's my way out. Okay? But let's say the guy's just a stud, and I go here and he doesn't go. Be careful, he's going to run me out of bounds. So I circle, that's what I'm talking about. That's Saturday, I'm talking about. But this should be our primary, our go-to stuff. We should be doing this so much, guys don't even, it should be a feel. I know by feel. I don't have to think about it. I've done it 10,000 times in the last month. That, look, he's here. It's hard. I gotta fight. I grit my teeth. I gotta do everything that the essence of wrestling is. I guess.
If you do that, you know, one thing you don't take long enough. If I get stuck, you're going to take this over. And he's locked real tight, and I'm having trouble getting my hips back. A lot of times, what I'll do is by just keeping the head pressure on the head. If I just keep, I'm trying to break that lock, trying to slide down, and he's just one of those guys. You've seen kids do it where they just seem like they get a hold of you, you can't get rid of them. I'm going to keep the head down. I'm going to keep the head down. I'm just going to grab anything. Maybe it'll be the ankle. Maybe it'll be the butt like this. Just like that. Make a fist. Just pull it toward you. Grab the ankle. All I'm going to do here is by keeping the head buried, I'm going to take this leg and high step back. He can't hold on. So if you're stuck there, you see how he's brought everything underneath him? This is where this is going to, he's brought everything underneath him. It's real easy. Just grab an ankle. Grab the butt. Heads down, just high step back. You can't keep the lock. It's too hard on the shoulder. So there's, you know, if you get kids that are stuck in that position, sometimes that high stepping back will change their complexion of the whole thing.
Any questions there? Anything that I'm covering or that I'm not covering you guys would like to do? Or not?
No questions?
Okay, so there's a lot of short offense. I'm going to kind of mention that a lot because I'm not going to really match it, but I don't score points. But I'm really trying to focus on this defensive platform to give ourselves confidence, to make ourselves solid. So I can stand my ground, I can hold my ground right here, and I take ownership of this circle. And that's a big part of it. It's a big part of it. If I if I have brick wall defense, I can be in every match against every opponent. That's so important. If I'm not as skilled as he is, I can still put myself in position to win by having impeccable defense. It gives me confidence. It gives me a lot of things. And I feel like you guys know a lot of the offensive technique, the moves, the score and short offense type stuff. So I think as a whole, we spend a lot less time on the defensive stuff. So high crotch, I kind of showed head to the inside, but high crotch, same stuff. It's the same thing. Here, if a guy beats me, here, my elbow's going to go to his head on a post. Maybe I'm going to take this hand. I'm going to squat here too. This is important. I'm going to squat. This is probably most important. I'm going to drop. As I do that, I'm stuffing head. Here, I'm going to punch him right in the ribs. Not like this, but like kind of trying to knock him off his base. If I catch him coming in as you just shoot real slow. Right there. Try to knock him off his base. Get my hips where now I have a great angle. Stuff this position. Boom. If I got this with the animal and he's building up position here, that's where I'm going. I got to stuff here. I got to stuff. And if he's really strong, what do I see our guys do? They go this. Boom. They start chest locking. He pops his hips in the air. My feet are off the ground. And it's all over. We're very nearly all over. I'm never going to give up. We're still some dogfight to do. But that's not what we want to do. We want to squat, square my hips to him, and stuff his head. Get that leg back. Curl my foot to my heel to my butt. Hit it. Get my hip to his head. Stretch him out. It's here. I like that little trick that I'll give. Right here, high leg. And if you can't break his grip, I can pull on his elbows. Hips in. Whether it's head outside or inside, open these elbows. Here. Break it. Right there. High leg over. Peel hands. Double leg, the same thing. Double leg, the same thing. Very important to emphasize to all our guys is when I clear the position, it's not when his breaks his lock, it's when his hands are no longer touching my legs. He's in here on me, and I do this, and he's still got a pretty good hold on my kneecap there, or hamstring. I can't start going here. I gotta get it all the way off. All the way off. Okay, so a little bit higher up. Now, here, guy's really strong, and I go to squat, and he's getting strong coming through me. Get up. Now I'm gonna start this direction. Okay, stay down, stay on the knee. I'm gonna hit in, boom, throw his head to the inside. Maybe he's really good at high crotch. I'm gonna stuff him and make him finish head inside, boom, here. And just vice versa. So I got the same thing, guys building up, he's getting strong, I can't win here. Boom, I'm gonna pop, rip it to the outside, push it this way, grab it this way, I don't care. Boom. Down and away. Double leg, a little bit different. I'm kind of in a little more trouble here, but I'm going to be peeling. This is the elbow that's killing me. This one, not as important. I'm going to stuff his head, push his head away, create some space, and get here. Square. And then I can do those same things even one step further. I'm in more trouble. Guy comes up to our feet. I caught you. Right here, he's coming up, finishing. I'm gonna post right here. I'm not letting him change off. Keeping up here. As he drives through me, I'm gonna strike here. Just kind of hold it right here. Now in a circle. I'm gonna kind of steer him around. That goes. Well, maybe kick my foot to the outside. And as soon as I get here, I can drag it to the mat. One, get it down and away. I like this better. Push the head away and square my hips. Boom. go back to my wrestling. But it's about misdirecting, taking him out of his comfort zone. If he's heading inside here, and he's getting strong through me, I'm going to throw it, boom, here, push, sprawl, lift. I'm going to do everything to get him out of his comfort. If he's head outside there, I'm going to do just opposite. You know, if he's got the foot here, maybe I'm going to throw it to the outside, hop to the side here, throw it inside. And I'm going to stuff. I think we got to hammer this. I know I do. I have to hammer this one. All of our guys. But this is not, like I said, this is not freestyle skill. This is wrestling. It's really teamwork. Guy high dives me. Same deal. Stuff his head, get my hips back, check him up, threaten him. So, but these are primaries. This is the stuff I show the baseline, and then obviously increasingly worse trouble, but it's all the same stuff. Guys out my leg in the air like this, I can still win. I can still win. What you see, you know, when I see our guys doing this, they get here and their first move is to go dive in between his legs. And we're freestyle. You know, that's mad savvy to me. You know, this is, that's what I'm gonna try to do. It might not work. I might fight it for a little bit, just enough to buy myself time and space where I can push. Takedown. But those things work because I went to my baseline. Chest lock works because I went to my baseline. It's all off. 96 kilo Russian. Last year, World Championships. He's an expert clinch or a chest lock guy. Gayuzmov, Azerbaijani, gets in deep on him, and he goes here. Shoots right comes. Gets off right here. This is his position. Money position for gets off. But it's a clinch. So what's he do? He stops and threatens him here. Gayuzmov pauses just for a second. Boom! Right there. That's it. That was a world title. He won it. He was the expert. I think that's a great example. He still went with the fundamental stuff. This year turned around. Same two guys in front of us. Who's my fault? But a different situation.
These are good examples of getting that changing level skill. He wants up, you want him down. You want down, he wants you up. The changing levels is all part of it. These are skills that are essential. Yeah.
Do you feel like this new style that's coming out of all his functions, rolls, his turns, as coaches, I feel a little bit of a pressure to show a little bit of that stuff for interest, but do you feel like us getting to some of that stuff is hurting us in the long run when we want to get kids to this level?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I believe that. I think it's good to keep practice interesting, and you can show some of that stuff, but when I would show it, I would hammer home the idea that this is last ditch. This is second, third, fourth, fifth priority, because you have straight sprawl, and then you have wizard, shoulder under his chin, and then I have like maybe inside back or crossroad type stuff. You know, the guy shoots here. You know, maybe I got this quick. It's at the corner, stuff in his head. You know, this is not bad if it's the right time for it. Or inside back. I don't know what you guys call it. That comes up. Stuff up. Right here, this kind of stuff. Around the hop here. I think it's good when it's there. The problem is you start showing that fun stuff too much, or kids want to do it too much, and that's what they rely on. And it'll be there. You know, Cody starts building up, and he's beating this, and he thinks I'm doing this. Boom! I'm gonna jump to it. I exploded to it, and I caught him because I was doing other things. I had him distracted. So if coming up and I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And he's seen me do it to, some punk in the first round. He knows I got it. So he's acutely aware. As soon as I go here, he's going to throw this leg back. It's all over. So I think we got to impress those kinds of ideas on our kids and our senior guys.
Are those guys seeing that it's a problem that their counter offense is a problem?
Yeah, I see it as a problem.
I know
'cause
you see it, but are they?
Oh yeah. Trent Paulson, first match last year at 66 kilos, an extreme cut, very disciplined. Kid worked unbelievably hard to get himself down there, shrunk his body, very tough. He goes out and he's wrestling Kazakhstan. The guy's name is Leonid Spiridonov. He's very good, very good. He has no gas tank. In 04, he was winning in the quarterfinals against Tadiev, who was the Olympic champ in 04. Spiridonov was beating him 4-0 when he gassed out. Tadiev won a match. He's that good, And Trent had him beat. He's ahead by a point, 14 seconds to go in the third period. You know the guy's got to come. That's where I go back to man savvy. Our strategy, we got to be like warriors. We have to understand where we're at. If I own this center, that guy's not scoring on me. 14 seconds? Are you kidding me? You're not even going to see my shoelaces, let alone get your hands on one. But because it's a habit for him, guy shoots, high crouch, and he goes here. Now he could have done just what Getzoff did, because he had him stopped, right? He could have went here, burned out 7 seconds. But 14, the whistle blew at 14. The guy's he's here about 7, and I'm about chewing my fingers off. I was in the corner, but I was down on the floor, and he goes right here. Like this. Spiridonov gets his hips real heavy and flat. Gives up 2 seconds, or gives up 2 points with 3 seconds on the clock. Spiridonov goes on to get a bronze medal last year. That's where I see it's a problem. It's costing us. He might get away with it in the U.S., but when you go overseas and you wrestle the best guys, and that's why I say it's the best guy in the city, the best guy in the state, the best guy in the country for our age group levels. We have to change that idea. This kind of stuff too. You see this a lot. Everybody loves to do this. It's fun. I like doing somersaults. Guy gets my leg up and he's running into me, and everybody wants to go here. Do that kind of thing, right? I've done it. Actually, I scored on it in match once. But that doesn't mean I'm going to do it every time. Just have to be there. And I think to hammer these skills home so they're second nature, it's repetition, repetition, repetition. And I can make it fun. I can make it really fun in practice.
Fundamentals need to be instinctive. That's something you got to think about. If one of these tricks is there and you spot it and you get ready for it, it's a great thing. Sometimes that's how you win a match with tricks. But fundamentals are essential. And the way you're going to beat the really, really good people is with good, solid fundamentals, both offensively and defensively. Because your counter offense isn't good unless your defense is good. So it all goes together. And it's like we always hammer home on the guys. Hard sets. Set that guy before you take that shot. Because if you hard set him, he may defend it, but he's not going to counter. You shoot without that kind of a set, now you're wide open to reshots and everything else. You've got to take and have good, solid, fundamental concepts just ingrained in your mind to the point to where absolute muscle memory and instinctive.
I think skill development is so important. So doing these, non-traditional type stuff, I think it's awesome. It's great. It teaches guys how to continue to wrestle and do things extraordinary, But I think becoming an expert and realizing, like a guy like Satia, he does some funky stuff. You're like, how does that work? I could never do that. I can't do that at the city tournament, let alone the world championships. And he does it. It's because he's an expert. He's done it probably 100,000 times since he was 5 years old. So that's repetition. I'm familiar, so I